Okay. Hey guys, it's Archon, and welcome to episode 2 of Archon Teaches You how to play a game he's never played before. Today we have Don't Starve. I've never played this game, I don't know anything about it, and I'm going to teach you everything there is to know about it so you can be an expert. First up, I just want to give a disclaimer. Because I've never played this game before and I know nothing about it, it is likely that 0% of this information will be at all accurate. So before we get into the game, I just want to tell you a little bit about the background of the creation of the game. Don't Starve was actually created by two struggling high school students. Right out of sophomore year of high school, they created this game from scratch. It was actually made as a tool for kids in Africa and Indonesia who didn't have enough to eat. And this was kind of like a training process to keep them from starving, just like the title says. And it didn't work very well. But the game did go on to be a success. Those two kids are very bright entrepreneurs. They went on to create a company you might know of called Google. So very interesting backstory of the game here.
Channel switch.
We're going to start out. I'm just going to go ahead and hit play here. That'll start the game, of course. And we're just going to do new game. You want to choose that top slot. It's the best one there. Now you can change your character here. There's a lot of characters to choose from. But, you know, if it's your first time playing, you're only going to have the one. So that's the one you want to go with. And you have this option to customize the world. You can change a lot of things about it. All the different foliage and animals that appear here. Now this stuff's really advanced. And I don't want to get into it because I don't want to confuse you. So we're just going to go with the default. You have default plus, which is a premium option just for the premium subscribers of the game. You get extra weapons and superpowers like flight. It gets really complicated. We're just going to go with default. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, mainly in this game, we want to eat all the food. You want to eat as much food as possible because that helps you from starving. You will have this little process that it generates the world. It's just putting everything together for us. And we get warped into this zone. It looks kind of like a barren landscape. You see, there we are, the character we chose. A little bit of storyline. This guy says we don't look too good. Better find something to eat. Like I said, we want to eat all the things. Now we have an action bar here, but you don't want spells in the action bar. It's better if it's empty. A lot more potential that way. That's somewhere one more place where we can hold food. Now you see there's butterflies flying our way. You can eat the butterflies if you want to, but they don't taste very good, and they only fill you up for a small amount of time. So I think we're gonna avoid eating the butterflies for now. We do have a boomerang here. Boomerangs are used for harvesting food from trees or for killing birds. Birds can be very tasty. So you can see now we have some twigs, and we can hit number 1, and it tells us it's twigs. So don't do that. You know it's twigs already. We hit number 2, and we can eat some petals. And petals will give you superpowers sometimes. So you eat all the petals, and sometimes they'll give you abilities like flight and stuff. Now we can hit this rabbit here. And you have to catch your boomerang. Now, that time I demonstrated how to not catch your boomerang, just so you know what you're doing there. You do have to catch your boomerang every time you throw it. Obviously, it's going to hit you in the face if you don't catch it. We have some more rabbits here. We're just going to throw it at the rabbit, and then we're going to catch our boomerang, just like that. So that's how I would normally do it if I wasn't showing you how to avoid getting hit. Now, we want to eat all the food, so we're just going to go ahead and eat all of this rabbit meat we have, and yeah, there we go. You want to eat as fast as possible. We got an axe here. Axes are good for chopping things. Much like Minecraft, you can chop down wood and ore and then build structures. It's just very much an exploratory type game. And yeah, we want to find some bigger animals here. We got some flint. It's going to help us make a fire later. Fire's good if you don't like eating raw food. However, raw food is known to provide more nutrients, of course, so we probably don't want to use the flint. Now we're going to take the axe here and put it on, and we're going to chop down this tree. And you chop down the tree because trees do have sap, and sap can be a delicious morsel. So here we go. We got some logs and pine cones. You can eat the pine cones as a last resort. But sometimes But you want to avoid that. Pine cones can be very spiky. Your character will become discontent if you stab him in the mouth too much with the pine cone. So we're going to go ahead and chop down this tree here. Again, we're looking for that tasty sap. It goes delicious on rabbit or these birds. We can go ahead and yeah, bird got away. When you try to click on the bird, it gets scared. So you have to click kind of quickly. You have to. I'm just showing you how to scare the bird and not click on it. But in a second, I'll show you how you can also click on it. See, that's how you scare it. Again, that's if you go too slow like that. I've played a lot, so it's easier for me to just attack the bird like that, and then you have to catch the boomerang. But that's, again, I just want to make sure you understand what happens when you don't catch the boomerang. That's you'll get hit like that. So make sure you're catching it. Now we can chop down the trees with the boomerang. He's not doing it right now, but you know, it takes a long time anyway. So we're just gonna go ahead and chop it with the axe. It's a little bit faster, and you're more likely to salvage some extra sap when you use the axe. Now we're still not getting that sap, so we're gonna keep chopping down some trees here. You can see it's still day 1, world 1. This is our liver here. We have 129 liver points. That's good for when you have to drink alcohol. And it is getting night time, and this is most likely when you would start drinking alcohol. And then we have our brain here. We're at 180 smart, and our heart's doing pretty good too. So this is just like an organ management system over here. And it's getting night, so we're going to want to build a fire. So we're going to go ahead and put some wood there, and then we're going to use this flint, which is hit number 4. And that lets us know it's a very sharp rock. You want to check to make sure that your flint is sharp, and ours is, so we're good there. So we got our boomerang, so we're going to attack this bird here. You can never have too much bird meat. Again, just showing you as much as I can how to avoid getting hit in the face by a boomerang. I want to make sure you understand the dangers here. We're going to go ahead and eat that bird meat. It's tasting great. Now our brain number is going down. That might seem like a bad thing, but if your brain gets a little too overwhelmed, then it gets increasingly hard to do anything. And so you want to make sure your brain power is not too high. So we're going to let that keep going down. And we're just going to keep looking for things that we can eat. Again, you don't want to starve. You want to eat. You want to eat all the things. We don't have our boomerang anymore. It was kind of it was becoming a burden, so we went ahead and just let it stay with that last bird. We're going to keep chopping some stuff down. We're looking for that tasty sap. Tasty sap. Now, if you're really fast, you can kill a bird with your axe. But you're probably not going to be able to do that your first try. So I'm not going to rely on killing birds with axes. You have to be really fast to get them. Let's see what we got over here. Of course, this is a rabbit hole. You can go into the rabbit hole. Again, it leads to the kingdom of the bunnymen. But a really challenging area inside the rabbit hole. So we're going to go ahead and not go in there. We got some more flint here. Again, just like before, we want to check to make sure this flint is sharp. And yes, it's a very sharp rock. So we'll keep that. You don't want the flint that's not sharp. And these sharp rocks will come in handy not only for making fires when we feel like it. Again, we're just not ready quite yet to make a fire, but also for stabbing things. Anytime you need a sharp rock. Okay, so we got a lot of flint here. Again, we just want to make sure that it is sharp. And yes, all this flint is sharp. Now it's going to get kind of dark here. It gets really dark at and they'll tell you that it's dark. But don't worry. You don't worry about that. You want to make sure that you die the first time it gets dark. Just like that, we're dead. So now that you've seen how the darkness affects you, it's easier to combat it. You want to make sure that your character is also educated. You could go ahead and build a fire the first night, and then your guy would live fine. He would never understand the dangers of the nighttime. But not only do you need to know the dangers of nighttime, your character needs to know too. It makes him more alert. He'll be better at building fires, and now we can just go ahead and start over. See, very little penalty here. We're hoping to find some grass, so it's a good thing we got grass right here, and we got that now. We can. It's ready for arts and crafts. Arts and crafts is an important part of the game. It helps you develop skills that increase confidence, and that increases survivability, of course. Now we don't have a a boomerang. The boomerang was kind of weighing us down, so we're just going to keep picking the things. We want some saplings. There's a bee here. Bees are horribly mean creatures. You don't want to stay around them too long. They will sting you at a moment's notice. But however, the beehives can give you honey. So we just want to make sure. Yeah, it is a beehive. We'll come back to that when we're ready for the honey. But you don't want to be too hasty because again the bees will sting you. Now we can walk up to the rabbit. We don't have an axe or anything, but he will lead us to carrots. As you can see, he's looking for the carrots. So if we follow him, we can get to the carrots. Now let's see. We're just going to keep walking around. There's lots of different landscapes here. It might look like it's all just the same thing, but if we keep walking, we can get to the jungle landscapes, or here we found a desert landscape. Desert landscapes are nice when you get too wet. Your clothes will get damp. We can dry off, but we're just going to leave the desert because our clothes are not wet right now. We just kind of look through our items here. We got some grass. We got a sharp rock. Again, making sure it's sharp. We're eating those petals. They're quite delicious. Now, you might think you don't want to eat when your liver's fine, but you sometimes you just want to eat all the petals. Again, you never know which one's going to give you that superpower, and flight is really important in this game, especially late game. Late game's going to be like day 2, day 3. We're just on day 1 right now, but we're getting ready for that, of course. We got some flint here. We want to make sure we have lots of sharp rocks. Checking again, it is a sharp rock, so that's good. Those are just regular rocks there. Now we can look at those, and he says you can make stuff with those. I could have told you that as well, of course, but I just wanted to show you how the game will tell you what you can do with items as well. So we have lots of rocks now. We're getting lots of flint. This is important later on. You never know when you're going to want to make a fire. Now this is the first wormhole we found so far. These wormholes you'll find throughout the game, and he says that was not a sane thing to do. I just wanted to show you don't want to jump in those wormholes. So what I just showed you, be careful not to do that. Now we do have some. These guys are kind of creepy, but they're not as mean as they look. They have these fancy houses. These are very loosely based off of the Three Little Pigs story. They're very kind pigs, as long as we don't find the big bad wolf. We're gonna go ahead and talk to King Pig here, and he smells. So if you need, and not like he smells bad. The game isn't very clear there. He actually will smell things for you. You can find things throughout the game. If you can't tell what they are, you bring it to him, and he'll tell you what they are by smelling it. Now we have a spider den here. They're quite sticky, and these spiders, you can eat them if you want to, but they can also eat you. So I could show you how to defeat the spider without any weapons, but that's kind of hard to do your first time. So again, we're just gonna pretend like it was, that we didn't know what we were doing, and we're gonna go ahead and leave the spider alone. We do have more of the Three Little Pigs here. You can talk to them if you know their language, but they will also they'll also fight spiders for you, and then you can eat those spiders after they kill them. Again, if you're not skilled enough to kill them on your own. So we'll go ahead and pick up that monster meat, and that's good to have. Monster meat has its pros and cons. You don't feel so good when you eat it, but it is food. And so we got some red caps here. Those also don't make you feel good. I just want to kind of show you what kind of things you want to avoid eating, and those are the main ones right there. So this is the time where we would build a fire. So we purposely haven't been picking up too many things that will help us get a fire. I just want to show you kind of like a stress test what you do if at the last moment you realize you don't have all the things you need to build a fire. Of course, you're going to want some gasoline and a blowtorch, and that will let you build a fire. But we're just going to keep walking around, and sometimes this is a situation you get in. Again, there's spiders around here. If you're nice enough to the spiders, if you're patient enough, they can become your pet. You can use them to hunt with. So it's always good to have a few pet spiders on your side. We're just going to see if we can go a while without building a fire. It's always good to kind of stress test your guy. You don't want him to feel too safe. If your guy feels too safe, then he will give up. He'll become lazy, and you don't want that. Now we are kind of hanging out in the area of the spiders. It might seem like a bad idea, but spiders have a lot to offer. And we didn't want that mushroom, so we went ahead and left it. The green mushrooms, just not, they're not good mushrooms. So I'll keep looking around. You see this tree here was moving a little bit. That doesn't mean anything. Trees just grow up, out of the ground. They just get bigger at nighttime. It's nothing weird about that. And let's see, we got some sapling now. Again, the pig houses all over this area. Pigs and spiders have had there's a lot of lore that goes into the pig spider backstory. You can get more into that if you'd like to, but it's not too important. So we got lots of sapling. We got that flint, and again, that flint is a sharp rock. So we can over here we can look at survival things or a light. We can build this torch if we want to. You see that gives us a little bit of light. Now see, that's what I meant when we were in the stress test. I just want to make sure we could handle ourselves. And now it's dark. We have the torch. We're going to be all right. And yeah, this sidebar, I didn't want to overwhelm you too early, so I didn't tell you about the sidebar, but you can create things. So since we have this flint and the sapling, we can create an axe if we'd like to. And that'll allow us to, of course, cut down trees. Now if we switch to the axe, we're not going to have the torch. So we want to make sure we have the torch out. Nighttime is going to get a little bit more challenging because we don't want to pull our axe out. Now we can light these on fire. You right click on them, and that'll start a forest fire. Forest fires do serve a few purposes. Those spiders, sometimes they get a little overwhelming, and we want to make sure that we just burn them out. One thing you want to make sure when you start a forest fire is that you have easy access to leave the forest. So I knew that was the edge of the forest. We're safe. That forest fire will go ahead and burn all the spiders in that area, and we can safely make our exit. Science over here is you can build things like science machines. Science machines make more science. Now sometimes your torch will run out, and that's why it's important to be close enough to a sapling that you can make another torch. However, making it through the first night is a little overrated, if you ask me. Dying on day one does have its merits, so but we're not going to do that. We're going to make sure we picked our sapling. Now, it's hard to time, but if you time it right like that, you can make it through the night. You just have to make it through a portion of the night. That's why we just made the one torch. Like I said, making it through only one day has its merits, but I want to show you guys more of the game, so we're going to go ahead and keep making it on to day 2. Now, day 2 is a little bit different than day 1. As you can see, our heart is not feeling too good right now, so we might want to take a rest or something, or just build things. Sometimes building things will make you feel a little bit better. We can build a pickaxe, of course, and this will help us break down rocks. And then that's what those boulders you were seeing. They can be broken down with these pickaxes. So we'll go ahead and mine a little bit here. And you see, we get some gold nuggets from mining, and those gold nuggets can be used to buy things at the store, at the Don't Starve store. And then these horses here, they're a lot like the knights in chess. Except a lot more violent. So you want to make sure to stay away from those. Now I wanted to show you that as an example of one of the types of creatures that you want to stay away from completely. Those horses are not your friend, and that was a clear illustration of what someone might do their first time playing the game. Now I saved you from doing that yourself. And I can show you a little bit more about day 1. Day 1 is a little bit complicated, so sometimes you want to review it 2 or 3 times before moving on to day 2 or 3. Day 1 is really where you build your foundation and where you start the game anew. What you do on day 1 will domino onto the coming days. So we're going to start over just like we did before. The guy's going to talk to us, and then we're just going to go ahead and get started. Now, of course, we're going to want these saplings to build a torch later. And pick these flowers to be or not to be. Those funny little puns throughout the game. Butterflies, again, we can't eat those, but it's a last resort. We got We got some grass here. Those are good for our torches or starting a campfire. So let's pick our sapling, and maybe we can find another boomerang or something of that nature. Now I haven't gone over the heart much yet. There's a lot of complication with your heart. You don't want to eat too many things with high cholesterol, of course. That is bad for your heart, and that's going to lower your heart amount. Now we do have carrots here. Now we can use this carrot if we want to lure in a rabbit and then eat it if we want to. Or we just of course we can just eat the carrot. Carrots are also delicious treats, and sometimes you'd rather just eat the carrot than eating the rabbit. So go ahead and pick a few more carrots. You never know when you're going to find a rabbit that you can trick to come in a little bit closer and getting eaten. So we got a few more carrots. There's a rabbit. We do want to get this flint, of course, so we can make. And you can go down his rabbit hole. You can go into the rabbit hole if you're small enough. It is an advanced strategy. You have to stop eating for a limited amount of time, and then you can make it into the rabbit hole. But we're not going to be covering advanced strategies in this video. Maybe in a subsequent one. We want to get these flowers. Again, those petals always have that small chance to bestow the superpowers. I would like to show you flight at some point during the video, so we're going to make sure we have lots of flowers to eat. I'm going to pick these, looking good. Got lots of flint to make tools and fires, of course. And now let's go ahead and see what kind of tools we can make. We can make an axe or a pickaxe. So we'll go ahead and I think we can actually make both of those. So let's go ahead. We now have an axe and a pickaxe. And you can see we have what is equipped over here. We have a weapon, chest armor, and head armor. If you want to get some of these logs, we can use this for fires or for arts and crafts later. Again, arts and crafts is an important part of the game. It takes a lot from the movie Castaway. If you notice in Castaway, without Wilson, you probably wouldn't survive very long. Very similar with the wood. You can make little toys that entertain you and keep you sane as you probably have no friends. I mean, in the game. I don't know if you have friends in real life. Unlikely if you're playing a game like this, but I don't want to make any judgment calls. We want to get a lot of wood here because we're gonna need to make a lot of these figurines. You do get very, very lonely in this game, especially when you get down to day 17, 18. And we see some of these pigs were killed. These are the pigs from the last game. Now, if you're not too careful making friends with the pigs, they will get killed by the spiders, and this is the outcome of that. And then you have that to live with for the rest of the game. There's no real in-game penalty except for the guilt you feel knowing that those pigs would still be alive if you hadn't, if you had just saved them. And of course, we could have saved them, but this is a beginner tutorial. I didn't want to get into advanced war strategies in the pig and spider conflict. So we're gonna get some more things. Now we can we have this fight option here, and if we want to, we can build a grass suit. The grass suit will help us camouflage, of course, especially at night. It does look a little dumb, but that's kind of just that's the toss-up. Do you want to look dumb, but also have a little bit of camouflage? So we have that. It's getting dark, so we might try building a campfire this time. Campfires have their merit. You can cook delicious treats, and of course spiders are afraid of campfires, so it's gonna keep us away from that. And we could send smoke signals as well, but smoke signals again is kind of an advanced strategy. I don't want to get into that too much. Now our brain is going down, so that's good. We don't want an overload on our brain. Pick some more saplings because of course this helps us make the things. So let's see. We have some fire things we could build. We would need more grass, of course, if you want to do that, or some more rocks if we wanted to fire a pit. And then of course we need more grass as well if we want a torch. So we'll go ahead and do that. Get the grass. You can never have too much grass, especially later if you want to start herding cattle. Cattle do eat grass, and those you have to travel quite a distance to find them, but it can pay off. So we're gonna go ahead and get the grass. Now we might want to try to find a wormhole like this. Like I said, you don't want to jump in the wormhole most of the time, and this was not an exception. But I just kind of want to show you, in case you missed it the first time. That's what a wormhole looks like. Don't click on those. Just want to kind of want to demonstrate that. Now we do have a pick here, so we can go ahead and mine this rock. Okay, so we got some nitrate and some flint, and these are just some more advanced materials. You can get in some more technological advancements later on. If you want to build a flashlight or something, then that would be important. And you see, we get some more of that stuff. We get some rocks. Now it is going to be getting dark pretty soon, so let's go ahead and build ourselves a campfire. And you just place that wherever you want to. It's good to place it around trees in the chance that you need to start a forest fire, and that's going to light up a large area of the world. We're getting a little hungry, so we can eat some of these carrots here. Delicious carrots, and then now our liver's feeling a little bit better after that. And then the green caps. Normally you wouldn't want to eat a green cap, but this is a good example of a time where you might want to cook something on the fire. So we're just going to grab this. We're going to cook it on the fire. Okay, so now we have a cooked green cap, and now it's safe to eat. So we can eat that, and we're feeling good. Our brain goes down from that, so it's good. It relieves some of the pressure on our brain. Now we can stay here safe by the campfire if we'd like to. Campfire should last throughout the night, and we do have one torch as a backup light, of course, and we're just going to keep cutting down wood. You want to make sure you have enough wood to last you through the night, and your campfire will run out. So we're going to switch to that. I just wanted to make sure that our pickaxe couldn't cut down the tree. Sometimes you get a fancy pickaxe and it doubles, so but don't worry about that too much. I don't want you to. So you can see our fire's starting to go out. We're just gonna it's looking good. You should put something on the fire. Like I said, I was saying that before. So we want to take this log and add fuel to the fire, and there we go. We're gonna add some more fuel, but we don't want to right now. And so we're just gonna put it back in our action bar, and the fire's looking good. I'm going to chop some more things here. I want to make sure you always have plenty of logs for fire building. And I'll show you fire pits maybe on day 2. They are a little bit more advanced. There's a lot to know about that. Now sometimes your weapons will break, so you want to make sure that you have backup weapons. I don't have a backup weapon this time because I wanted to show you guys what happens when you don't have backup weapons, and that is that you have nothing to you have nothing to do now. There's no backup weapons. This is the kind of situation you want to avoid. We're going to get some more of these things for higher technological advancements. So we got some rocks for our fire pit. We're going to go ahead, and now of course we can't cut down that tree. That's what happens when you aren't prepared. That's what Boy Scouts has taught me. Be prepared. No exception in Don't Starve. So make sure we have all the materials we need. Our vitals are all looking pretty good. Our liver's good for when we are able to create moonshine. Moonshine's an important part of the game. It helps you get through those long nights of partying where it's just awkward to be around people if you're sober. And so moonshine will loosen you up a little bit. The social aspect of this game doesn't really come into play until maybe day 4 or day 5 when you first find civilization. But that's kind of far down the road. For now, we're just worried about eating all the food. And you can see how this doesn't really apply to someone who's living in Africa and Indonesia, and probably why the game didn't do well at first. There's not a lot of partying in those situations when you really can't eat. So I think so we got some reeds here. Reeds are good for certain instruments like the clarinet. And that, again, it gets a lot more complicated after the first week or so. You learn musical instruments and stuff. If you don't have those reeds, your instruments just aren't going to perform very well. We got some saplings here, so if we want to, we can make some more tools. Now these are locked right here. We just need to find keys for them. They drop from boss fights, but we're going to make an axe for now. I'm going to go ahead and build that, and now we can chop down some more trees if we want to. Okay, we still haven't been lucky enough to find any of that tasty sap from the trees. It is one of the nicest treats you can find. Here we have a pond. You can't see the bottom of the pond. Sometimes that's Sometimes all that means is that you need a light. You just need to build like a torch or something. Now that is that's a tentacle, and we can attack those. They're not too hard to fend off. So we're just gonna wait for it to come back up here. Now, when it comes back up, you just want to attack it right away. Don't mind if it's hitting you a few times. It's not a big deal. It's completely normal. You want to get hit a few times before you kill the tentacle. And then it thinks that it's winning, and it'll try not quite as hard, and then it becomes a little bit easier to finish off the tentacle, as I'll show you here. And then you just all your stuff gets left there. Now there are some advantages of attacking the tentacle. Like I said, your person learns a little bit more. And that's just kind of how you play through the game. Anytime you find something new, you want to make sure your person realizes the danger in that thing. And if you make sure to always be exploring danger regardless of the consequence, you'll get a very strong character, and that'll help you really succeed in Don't Starve. So that's going to be the end of this episode of Archon Teaches You how to play a game he's never played before. Hopefully this will help you really understand Don't Starve and play it well. So best of luck to you. Let me know how you do in the comments. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll have another one for you next week.